Hello there, folks. Welcome back to ESA Summer Online. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank Kaspersky, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. My name is TinyTim78. I'm going to be the host for this next one here, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be ViolinSR running Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Take it away.
Hello everybody, my name is Violin, and I'm joined by Ninten and KaiBlayer13. This is Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Oh. Hello. This is Kingdom Hearts Final Mix for the PlayStation 4. This is any percent beginner, the fastest category, and I will count down. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And Ninten and Kai, you can introduce yourselves.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ninten. I'm a Kingdom Hearts speedrunner. I've done runs of games across the series, mainly 1, 2, and 3. I really like this category. This is one of my favorite speedruns ever. I've known about it for like about half a decade now. So.
All right, I'm KaiBlayer13. I've been running KH1 for about the better part of 4 years now. So I can't really get enough of this category. I think it's really fun, and I think it's really enjoyable to watch. And so, yeah.
Awesome. So we start off this run on PS4 with an unskippable 3-minute opening. On the Xbox version of this game, you can actually skip the opening, which saves 3.5 minutes over PS4. But the reason I don't run on Xbox is because their controllers are not made very well for speedrunning. So a majority of the runners prefer to run on PS4. So we have the leaderboard separated for both consoles, just to make things fair. But yeah, while this intro is happening, you can read off donations or say anything you need to say.
Okay, well, I'd just like to let everybody know that we are ESA Summer Online, raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Please be sure to get your donations in when you can, and we hope you enjoy the run.
All right.
I guess another thing I should explain is we are playing on the Japanese version of the game. The reason being, Japanese text scrolls faster than English text, saving roughly 20 seconds over the English version. There are unskippable text cutscenes that you have to mash through really quickly, and the text on JP scrolls much faster. And English does have some exclusive skips and glitches, but they still don't save enough time to be faster than JP. So JP is slightly faster, though you can still get world record on the English version. My friend KaiBlayer13 runs on English, and he has a low 213, which is really impressive.
Yeah, it's about like 20 to 30 seconds that JP saves over English, so it's not like a huge advantage, but it does make a difference at top level.
Yeah, so I don't actually read Japanese. I've actually memorized a lot of inputs in the menus and the controls and where certain abilities are in relation to another. So a lot of menuing is just muscle memory and memorization. I don't actually know how to read Japanese.
Me neither.
Mm-hmm.
Me neither.
Alright, we're about to start.
Yeah, we're getting to the end of the opening here.
This is one of the only unskippable cutscenes. There are more, but for some reason, just this one and like maybe one other.
There's one other in this run, and then there's one other one that we don't see in this run.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alright, so I'm going to be picking up the staff here, which gives you 1 extra MP. And in this game, the more max MP you have, the stronger MP is, and that's going to be very useful when we're doing magic-based strats. Basically throughout the entire run, we use magic a lot. And it also buffs summons a little bit. And we're giving up shields because it sets up our abilities to be in a certain order when we level up. And later on there are going to be 3 characters who ask us questions, and we have to select the top options for each of them to set up the day route, which basically means you level up more quickly at the beginning of your levels, as opposed to the, what's the other route called? There's the night route and then the
midday.
Midday, yeah. Midday you level up pretty evenly throughout the run, and we don't want that. We want, at the end of the run, we reach level 47, and the day route helps us do that.
So you're just going through tutorials type stuff right now, just teaching you how to open chests and how to swing your keyblade or the staff right now.
While we're doing that, could we have information?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay, we have received $30 from Svenny, who says, "Good luck on the run, Violin. The ensemble is cheering for you." Also, Ghosts 555.
Oh, thank you so much, Svenny. Really appreciate it. So in this run, we're going to be resorting mostly to doing air combos because they are a lot faster than ground combos. And in general, you want to time your air combos as opposed to mashing them out, because there's no input buffering system in this game like in Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's important to keep that in mind. This is the second Shadows fight. It's pretty random, but that was actually a good start. I just wanna...
Oh wow, got like 400 or 500 first combo.
That was a pretty solid
I actually
fight.
don't know how many shadows are in this fight in total.
There are quite a bit, and it's
just 10, maybe.
Yeah, Dive to Heart is actually a pretty big reset point for runners because of how random these shadows can be, but thankfully that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it looks very simple, but you can lose upwards of like 10 seconds to a slow fight there. The shadows can be really frustrating. They go underground, or you knock them away with a finisher, but it doesn't kill them, so you have to walk all the way over there.
Yeah, what you want is them all to jump towards the middle, and then you do a full combo on each of them, and so it kills all of them at once. But sometimes you can choose not to jump. So now we're moving on to Dark Side, and this fight is just going to be complete air combos. So he's going to dodge a fist, going to the ground, and then do air combos. He's trying to do them as close to the ground as he can, because obviously the sooner that he can attack, the sooner he will land, the sooner he can jump again. It saves a lot of time overall in the run for him to do his air combos really tight and really quick. Jump as low to the ground as possible.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, beginner mode is actually exactly the same as standard mode, with the only difference being the beginner mode gives you 8 strength ups, 8 defense ups, and 4 AP boosts. So you saw me use the strength ups and defense ups before the Dark Side fight. We're saving the AP boosts to sell later, because we need money to buy gummy parts, which are going to make our gummy ship faster. And also you get specific beginner exclusive equipment, specifically Brave Warrior and EXP necklace, and I believe the ribbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see there when Violin was doing some of that platforming a bit ago, he timed his jumps to jump right after he lands. There is some landing lag in this game when you land on the ground, and you can cancel that out by going into another jump. So that's going to be utilized a lot throughout the platforming, especially in early game.
Yeah, and also in a lot of boss fights, that's going to be utilized.
Yeah, and I think that's
Also their combos.
yeah, that's what makes this game really cool, in my opinion, is that the speedrun has a lot of platforming. Like, it's kind of like half platforming, half battles. So a lot of the time saved in the game is from like timing his jumps right, moving in straight lines, like taking the most optimal route he can throughout the world.
Cutting around corners and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
optimized
that's pretty
movement
awesome.
really adds up throughout the run.
And you can watch 10 different runners, and 9 of them will do like different things. Everybody kind of has their preferences of their movement, or it's just like how their muscle memories works. But a lot of the time, it's just such tight timing that it's kind of hard to tell what is actually faster with the platforming. But I say that over the years, it's been pretty optimized.
For sure.
Yep.
So we're just collecting some items to progress. We're already on day 2, so I need a seagull egg, 2 coconuts, and believe it or not, there's actually RNG with the coconuts. There's a specific chance of them falling or not. We just have to whack a tree and hope one falls quickly, but it doesn't take too long. And now
right here we have the Riku race.
Yeah, a lot of people probably remember losing to this race because platforming is hard. But I'm going to be taking a very optimal route, and we're going to completely just leave Riku in the dust and do a ledge grab there. That's fine.
Oh no.
I've never seen that before. We're going to climb up here. A lot of people don't know how to use a zip line, funny enough. You just jump up to it, and you don't hold anything on your controller. And then you let go, pressing the jump button.
Yep, and the nice thing about this race is that even with that time loss factor with the ledge grab, if he still beats Riku fast enough, it won't actually lose any time because there is a cap to how much time save you can get in this race.
Yeah.
You have to wait for Riku to catch up to you towards the end, and so if you're faster, you just have to wait longer in the end with this fade out.
Yeah, so I didn't lose any time there.
Yeah.
And for winning the race, you get a pretty stone, which we also sell later. It gives you quite a bit of money, actually, so losing the race is not very good.
Oh yeah, it's very important that you win that race.
Yeah. Now we're going to push this boulder, get a mushroom, and now the RNG part, hitting a tree. Fun stuff.
And to make things worse, if you swing too many times and one of the ripe coconuts falls down, and you continue to swing after that, the coconut can actually disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, they despawn. There can only be 2 on screen at a time. So you have to make sure that you lock onto it. So the strat is to like keep unlocking on and unlocking, so that if the coconut falls, the game prioritizes the coconut to lock onto, so you know when it falls.
Yeah, and you can't actually lock onto the brown coconuts, so you don't need to worry about those. And that's the end of... Oh, another thing people don't know is you can get the water for the bottle on that stream instead of going to the pre-breeze room. There's like a little hole in the wall there. Yeah, that's the end of day 2. Now we have a bunch of cutscenes. We probably have some time for donations here.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I would just like to remind everyone that we are raising money for Alzheimerfonden. Alzheimerfonden is a Swedish national fundraising organisation focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Their aim and purpose is to increase fundraising to the benefit of scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. Yearly, Alzheimerfonden's Science Council and Board of Directors grant scientists and projects around 30 million Swedish kroners, and they enable training for caregivers on the subject of dementia. 100% of your donations goes towards Alzheimerfonden, so please keep those donations coming in. Thank you very much.
Cool. So another cool thing about the platforming in this game is if you think you're not going to make a jump, if you're not close enough to the platform you want to land on, you can actually extend your jump by doing a swing midair to propel yourself forward. So this game has really cool physics and momentum that we'll be utilizing a lot. And now we have Dark Side 2.
Yep, so Dark Side 2 is pretty similar to 1. We're going to be attacking the hands, but he's going to do a different attack here where he'll spread his arms out and then some dark orbs will come from his chest. And we're trying to beat him before he raises his hand back up. That was a good fight.
He got a lot of critical hits there as well.
Oh yeah, in this game you get critical hits, but they're not they're not really too important. They're more important on the PS2 version, where we don't have so many strength boosts.
Yeah, there is a visual cue. There is a colored ring that appears when his finisher lands, and that means that he got a critical hit.
Yeah, but in this game it's always the same amount of hits to kill Darkseid.
Okay, so here's something that some people may not know. You don't actually have to explore virtually any of Traverse Town to get Leon to spawn outside the accessory shop. You only have to kill 5 shadows, and then the flag is set in-game for Leon to spawn if you walk in and out of the accessory shop here. So we basically, same thing as the Shadows 2 fight earlier, we just wait for them to jump in the middle and try and get as many as we can in one swing, and then he picked off an extra one in the following room there.
That was actually very, very good.
Oh yeah, and you can tell how strong you are in beginner mode now because he's doing one hit will kill all the shadows. Beginner mode is like insane how much damage you do.
Yeah, so
Right
we
here on
got
Leon, he's gonna be dodging the fireball. He has different patterns he can do, like he can jump at the start instead, and then you have to react differently. But right there, he did a fireball, so you want to go around it and then do 2 hits and then a finisher. You want to time your finisher so that it happens when Leon is not staggerable, because you don't want to ever knock an enemy away from you with the finisher and then have to chase them down. It's better to do it when you know it's going to defeat them or when they won't be staggered by it.
Let me know when you've got time for donation.
yeah, sure.
Okay, we've received a $50 donation from Rayasin, who says, "Good luck, Violin. Blessing this run with guaranteed hookship."
Thank you so much,
Thank you very much for that. And we've also received $15 from B-Boy Cubed without any comment, but thank you very much again for your generous donation.
Thank you, B-Boy. So on my way to the next fight, I'm going to be killing, or I already just killed, 3 soldiers. That's going to set up level up at the end of this next fight so that we can kill guard armor as quickly as possible. And the level up gives us an extra strength. So I'm going to command my party at the very start here. Hopefully Donald and Goofy kill 1 soldier each, and then I can just finish the rest off. That was a decent fight, I would say.
Yeah, sometimes Goofy will push some soldiers out of the way. It's not entirely consistent, but there is a strat for it.
Alright, so this is a pretty precise strat. I'm gonna try to get a stagger here, which I did, so that's really good. And now I have to wait for him to do this animation because he's invincible during this, and then I can finish him off. That was actually a super amazing fight. And unfortunately, Goofy decided it would be a great idea to waste his ether on Donald. So, so we're gonna have to do Deep Jungle without an ether, unfortunately, but it's okay. Loses like 10 seconds.
It is dependent on the situation, really, but yeah, magic is very useful in Deep Jungle in the middle part of it.
Yeah, which, another thing I wanted to touch on is that Violin mentioned commanding his party members, and so in this game when you press triangle, your party members will attack whatever you're targeting, or just like in general if you're not targeting anything. And we use that a lot in the run because we're able to get a lot more damage off when the party members are attacking with us.
And I also use triangle to make my party members follow me in certain instances to despawn Heartless or to prevent them from attacking certain things. So this is the first menu. I put on Brave Warrior, which gives me more strength. I took Goofy's invisible ether that doesn't exist because I'm just used to doing that with muscle memory.
I was gonna say your muscle memory really wanted to take that ether.
Yeah. And then I also equipped Dodge Roll. Dodge Roll is going to be the fastest form of movement for a while, up until we get Super Glide at late game. So this is... Yeah, you can explain this, Kai.
So this is what we do to the gummy ship at the beginning of the game. We take off everything, and then we just leave on the required items to actually fly it, which are the cockpit and the engine. And then Violin here is putting on a gun just for safety, so that he does not die in these gummy sections. But that's essentially just because the gummy ship comes equipped with a lot of armor, and that slows it down by quite a lot, actually. So we just kind of strip it down to the bare minimum for this.
Yeah, and for this gummy mission, since we're in beginner mode, I can stay in the top right corner here throughout the whole mission without touching my controller, and I'll make it to Wonderland just fine without dying. But until then, we can read off some more donations.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Please keep your donations coming in. All your donations benefit Alzheimer Fonden. Now, just to make you aware that we do have, coming up at the end of the run, we have met the Oathkeeper cutscene glitch showcase. Okay, so thank you very much indeed. $150 have gone towards that, so thank you so much for your generous donations. And to be honest, at the moment, keep your donations coming in, but the next donation bid war is later on today. It's going to be the name for River City Ransom, and currently Bruce is ahead with $50 and Cecil on $5. But thank you very much indeed. Please keep those donations coming in.
Cool. So now we're in Wonderland. It's going to be some movement. I don't know why I did that. Just gonna move towards the doorknob, skip the scene. We have to push the bed before we drink the potion, otherwise we can't get through to the Queen's castle. After that, we're going to go into the forest, collect a piece of evidence, and bring it to the Queen to prove that Alice is innocent. Story stuff, you know. A cool thing on the English version, actually Kai, since you run English, you can explain the difference here.
So on the English version, there is a text glitch that you can use. If you open Jiminy's journal before talking to an NPC before the upcoming fight, the text will glitch out and it'll become it'll kind of use random text boxes from elsewhere in the game. It's very strange. But it is faster because the text doesn't actually scroll on the screen. It just kind of appears all at once, and you can skip through the text a lot quicker. It's even quicker than the Japanese version.
Yeah. So
in this particular case.
So my magic stat there in the forest fight was actually really high, so I was able to one-shot every Heartless there. And then I had to hug the wall before I got the box, so I didn't spawn any more Heartless. And our goal here is to get a soldier. Unfortunately, I got goofy like I always do, because it's harder on PS4 to tell which box lands on the ground first, because that's the one that has the soldier. But since we're playing in 60 FPS, the boxes fall sooner to the ground. On PS3, it's super easy to tell though.
Yes, so right here he's on Crank Tower, and this fight's really special because not every hit does the same amount of damage. I believe whenever you do a hit on the crank, it is kind of stunned for a bit, so whenever you do a hit right after during its animation, it doesn't do any damage. So what he does is try to delay his last attack of the combo so that it lands on the crank, because that does a lot more damage than the regular hits. And then after the cranks are gone, he can just smash out combos because the damage is regular.
Yeah. And I rolled around after the fight to pick up some money. Because I actually, some runners in Deep Jungle, they like to put on treasure magnets at the start, but I don't do that because it's just an extra menu that I don't like doing. It's personal preference, so I just roll around in that fight for safety, just so I don't have, just so I'm not low on money in Traverse Town when I have to buy stuff. So now we're gonna light some lamps. Yeah, you can dodge roll between these tables, but you have to be really careful on PS4. So you don't fall all the way to the ground, because if you do that, you'll spawn a lot of Heartless.
Yeah, it was extremely easy to do on the PS3 version, but since we're playing in 60 FPS, it's become way harder to pull off.
Yeah, and I was specifically avoiding certain spawn zones in that room, so I could open the latch without having to find anything. Because in this game, you can't interact with things until you defeated all of the enemies on screen. And someone can explain this fight.
You want to go ahead, Kai?
Sure. So this is Trickmaster. He's going to jump off the table and do a combo, and then while he's knocked down, he's going to do another combo and another combo, but essentially he's going to use the apex of his jump at the very tip of his jump, he's going to do a Keyblade swing to knock him down constantly, and your party members help a lot here by damaging him, and that's why Violin's commanding them a lot. It's a very quick fight, but it's really precise with your hits, because you have to hit at the very top of your jump.
So you could, for the longest time, we would use a chair or a table because that's, I think, what you're intended to use to be able to reach Trickmaster, but it turns out you can just hit him with your jump if you're very precise.
Yeah, it's really, really precise. And sometimes your party members can knock you out of the way and make you get parried by Trickmaster. So you just have to watch out for that.
Yeah, and if your swings are too low, you do get parried off of his shoes.
Yeah.
Which loses a little bit of time.
Alright, now we're on our way to Deep Jungle, the Tarzan worlds. There's a lot of going back and forth in that world, so the routing is pretty specific. And on PS4, the load times have been significantly reduced, so we're going to make use of that by using save points to warp around the world instead of manually walking towards all the areas. It's a big difference from PS3.
While we're in the going mission, can I read some donations?
Of course.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have received a $13.37 donation from, very appropriately, White Rabbit, who says, "Good luck on the run. We're all here cheering for you. May the hook RNG be in your favour. #bless the run." Thank you very much. And Rain has donated $20. All the blessings I have to offer. Well, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it. So there are some donations talking about hookship RNG. Basically, there's a world in this run in mid-game that has a random chance of not spawning. And for some reason, I miss the world more often than not. I have like the worst possible luck as a runner. So we're hoping the world shows up, because every time it doesn't show up, it loses a lot of time. And it is 100% random. So
yeah, it can definitely kill your runs.
I like to say the run doesn't truly start until you reach Neverland without missing hookship. Alright, so now we have Sabor 1. You just have to do 3 empty hits and then a full combo. When I say empty hits, it basically means just regular hits without using a finisher, because finishers do more damage. Sadly, my finisher didn't land there because her hitbox isn't. It's kind of small, so it's kind of hard.
It's very
to
low
land.
to the floor, and your finisher swings above Sora's head. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to land finishers on stuff like that or Shadow Heartless.
And I made sure to touch the save point there, because I'm gonna be warping back there really soon.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know you can actually quit out of that jungle slider minigame, and it sends you straight to the campsite.
So we're just collecting some slides. This is manual stuff that we have to do.
And that was a good instance of the movement in this game, how we refined it a lot over the years, and how he was doing like a attack so he could grab the slide and then parry off of the boxes and then skip the text box, which is like a really small detail that saves time.
Alright, so now we're just looking at images of gorillas. These images kind of foreshadow what's going to happen in the rest of the game. Now we're going to save warp, so lows are really fast. We're going to go back to the first save point and hit the next cutscene trigger.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we've been talking about, like the differences between PS4 and PS3. PS4 saves like 40 minutes-ish over PS3 because of the load times, and stuff like this wasn't, this warp wasn't a viable option on PS3 because the load time was so long.
Yeah, on PS3 we'd have to go through the Hippos Lagoon and jump over the hippos. But here we can just save warp. There are a lot of cutscenes before any action occurs. But this is the last. No, there's one more after this. And then we get to fight a lot of monkeys. And
Yeah, we're gonna be fighting Power Wilds, which they're a pretty difficult enemy to deal with in this run.
Yeah.
So it's easy to lose a lot of time here, especially without the ether.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I should remember.
This is where he would use the ether if Goofy hadn't used it on the guard armor fight.
Yeah. So we're gonna see our first instance of Blizzard now. It's a very good crowd control spell in this game. That was really good. Donald actually helped a lot there.
Oh, nice.
And the thing about these fights is at the end of every fight you have a random fade out that can either be quick or slow, depending on how the game feels. And there I got a slow fade out.
And another... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my theory on the fade out is like if your party members pick up money after the fight ends, it might because that's a thing that happens a lot in other fights is where you always want your party members to not pick up money when the game is gonna fade out because it breaks it. You can go ahead, Kai.
I was gonna say that these fights are interesting because there are 3 rooms, I believe, that are completely curated to how the Power Wilds spawn, but then the other 2 rooms are just completely random. The first one and then this one here in the treehouse, they can be spawned in pretty much any different way that they want to. Sometimes they're outside the treehouse, and you basically want them to be as grouped together as possible so that you can use Blizzard for crowd control, but sometimes it just doesn't happen that way.
So I did that fight in the treehouse without using magic just so I can conserve for the next room. This next room is consistent. I mean, I don't want to say consistent. Their spawns are consistent, but the way they move are not consistent.
Yeah. The only thing that's consistent about these fights are the 3 rooms where they're always going to spawn in the same spots, but they can really do anything from that point.
Yeah. And I have a cool little strat here, but I don't know if I can do it with this amount of magic. Basically, I'm trying to lure them back here. Oh, that was actually pretty good.
You do level up in the middle of the last fight, and that refills some of your MP.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was short on MP because of the lack of the ether, but that's still decent.
For not having the ether, those were very good.
Yeah. So that's the end of Power Wilds. Now we have to enter the tent. I'm gonna touch the save point because we use a lot of fire on Sabor 2. Unless your name is C.A. Templeton, and you can do really fast air combos. But this strat is actually pretty simple. We're gonna want him to jump, and then parry, or Goofy's just gonna push him out of the way, but that's okay. That fight was still good.
Yeah, so basically what he's trying to avoid is, the reason he's not doing a finisher there is because if you do a finisher on support 2, he'll get launched really far away. You might have seen it at the ending there, but like, yeah, he'll get launched really far away, and it's after he recovers from the finisher, he'll jump into the woods, and then you have to wait a couple seconds to wait for him to jump back out.
Yeah.
And that wastes a lot of time, so that's why he does fires, because it's the safest option.
Alright, and also, a lot of people don't know, you can quit out of this flower minigame, and it'll just spawn you into the next room. Pretty cool. And now we have to hit a fruit a bunch of times. And it doesn't matter what your stat is or what level you are, it always takes 15 hits to kill this giant fruit, no matter what. You could be level 100 with max strength and it'll still take 15 hits.
Yeah, some enemies in this game have a hit counter instead of being based on damage, which is very interesting. So sometimes you'll see later that we actually don't want our party members to attack certain enemies.
Alright.
And that's about it for Deep Jungle. Now we just have the last fight.
Oh. Okay. Someone want to explain
Okay.
animation skip?
I was about to. So with Clayton here, you want to Violin's gonna dodge roll back onto this rock.
I failed it.
And do basically what you can do in this fight is if you do 2 full combos on him quick enough while he's on that rock, his animation of the Stealth Sneak Heartless that he's riding appearing will basically be skipped over and will come out really fast, and that's what we want to happen. And then once Clayton is off, it's very easy. You just do 17 hits, so he's going to do empty hits, and then the last combo he'll do a finisher to finish off the fight.
Yeah, unfortunately I got a really weird ledge grab there. during the fight.
Sometimes it doesn't entirely work out based on positioning, but still a decent fight.
Yeah, wasn't terrible. Alright, now we have the hardest platforming in the game. Let's see if I can do it without fail.
There's a very, very difficult ledge grab at the end of this cavern.
I got it.
You tried to do here.
Ooh, nice.
That is really hard to pull off.
That was pretty good.
So like that last ledge grab, if he was a little bit too far to the left, Sora wouldn't grab onto the ledge. If he was a little bit too far to the right, then Sora would like kind of instant grab on and then instant grab off, and then he'll fall all the way down. And that's the worst thing, is if you miss that ledge grab, you could fall all the way down to the bottom and have to redo the whole thing. Yep. So it's really big.
And then there are other times where Sora will grab the ledge and you think you're going to make it, and then when he flips up, he falls down again. Sometimes he'll catch it a second time, but then other times he won't.
Yeah.
It just depends on your positioning and the timing of your last jump.
It's pretty precise.
Very hard.
Yeah. So now we have 2 gummy missions in a row, so we have plenty of time for donations.
Fantastic, thank you very much indeed. Okay, we have received a $40 donation from Slicestock Y, who says, "Good luck, violin. May your heart be your guiding key." Thank you very much indeed for that very generous donation. And I'd just like to remind everyone that we are ESA Summer Online, raising money for Alzheimer Fonden, so please get your donations in. Thank you.
Alright. Yeah, so right here we're going all the way back to Traverse Town. It's I think it's kind of silly how like we have to go through the same route.
Yeah.
And, instead of being able to like just warp back, we can warp to previous worlds later on in the game, but for the very first 3 worlds, we have to manually drive everywhere.
Yeah, most runners here would be browsing Twitter right now. Most likely. Also, I'm avoiding shooting or killing anything here to bring up my score, because on your way back, if your score is too high, you'll gain an extra gummy part as a reward, and we don't want that because it slows down our future menus. It gives you like a decoration, like a ribbon, I think, to put on your gummy ship, and we don't want that.
Unfortunately, we do not use the ribbon.
Yeah. So.
And then on the second one on the way back to Traverse Town, it's going to be like the same one from going to Wonderland, but it's reversed, so he can just go in the top left and survive the whole way through without touching his controller.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that this run has like a couple of bathroom breaks, or just like small breaks in the run.
Yeah.
In between the action.
Lots of resting points. And then we also have another unskippable cutscene in the late part of the game, which is another nice break. But after this, we'll have a warp gummy and we'll have a much faster gummy ship. So there will be less downtime between worlds, which is pretty nice. Up until Hollow Bastion.
While we are gummying along here, do we have time for a quick word?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as I say, we are ESA Summer Online, raising money for Alzheimer Fonden, and if you do donate, then make you eligible for our prizes. We do have a couple of wonderful prizes that have been donated by our sponsors, and if you make it a minimum donation of $30, you'll be put into the draw for the ViewSonic Elite XG270 QG monitor, and if you make a minimum donation of $50, you will be put into the draw for Nintendo Switch. So you can benefit charity and also give yourself an opportunity to win those fantastic prizes. Thank you very much.
Alright, so now we are in Traverse Town, second visit. We're going to go see Leon, which English runners have already done by now. Because you can clip through the waterway on English. But our goal here is to despawn the Heartless so we can do the Red Trinity. Because JP doesn't have this glitch. We killed those yellow Nocturnes. Hopefully, yeah, they despawn, so we're good. Killing those yellow Heartless usually prevents Heartless from following you, which is really nice. And I was also commanding Donald and Goofy to follow me, which also helps speed that up a little bit, which is pretty nice. And from Leon, we pick up Earthshine, which is the gem that we later give to Fairy Godmother, and she gives us Simba. Simba is a very, very useful summon that we use 4 times in the run. And he does a lot of damage to... he basically wipes out full mobs of Heartless. You'll see that in Neverland. Aside from that, we're gonna jump over the water there just to save some time. Swimming is pretty slow in this game, so the less swimming we can do, the better. And I'm also timing dodge rolls. Another thing I didn't explain earlier. If you time your dodge rolls instead of mashing them out, it saves quite a bit of time over the course of the run.
So yeah, this world is essentially just going from place to place, talking to different NPCs, and it's like a story-based world. The only thing we really do speedrun-wise is selling items to Sid and then purchasing gummies from him to make our gummy ship faster.
Yeah. And
yeah, another thing to mention.
Oh, go ahead.
Is that opposite armor is a boss fight that most people might think that you have to defeat in this visit, but you can actually wait on fighting that boss, and later on we're a lot stronger, so it's a lot easier to beat him then.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually leave the world right before doing the fight.
Yeah. So this is Mr. Merlin. It's a very long animation. This is where JP saves time over English. There's a lot of text here, and it adds up over time. And then we have to sit through this long animation of him putting his house together, because KH1 doesn't let you skip this for some forsaken reason. And then you also have the option of visiting Pooh Bear, but it's completely optional. It's not required to beat the game. And we also skip Olympus, Coliseum, and Atlantica in this run, because you're not required to beat them. But we will be seeing specific rooms later on. We'll explain that later. Now we're going to warp to the accessory shop, where we're going to talk to Sid, and then we're going to sell all the items we have except for the elixir, as well as the White Fang that we got from Sabor 2, which gives us extra strength for Agrabah, which is pretty useful. Aside from that, we can read some more donations if you have any.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. We do indeed have a $50 donation from Time Lord Rich, who says, "An American here, you all are doing amazing, and I love it." Well, thank you very much. We love your donation as well.
Thank you so much. Alright. Oop. Go back. Alright. We're gonna sell everything except those two. Now we're gonna go warp back to Merlin's house. We have to give him the book that Sid just gave us, and that gives us access to the Fairy Godmother dialogue, so she can give us Simba. And then we'll go back to the 3rd district, talk a bunch, go to the 1st district, talk a bunch, and then we'll be done. Then we'll be on our way to Agrabah.
Yeah, so most of this world is just movement stuff. Like, you can actually lose a lot of time in this world just from your movement and like the menuing in this world. So like, it may seem really simple to just walk back and forth and skip text boxes and sell stuff, but if you see the difference between like a really good time and a lower time, there's a lot of optimizations everywhere.
Yeah.
You can lose a lot of time here over the course of the whole world.
Alright, we're gonna unlock this door here, because after this text scene, Heartless actually spawn in that room, so we don't want that to happen, because then we won't be able to leave until we kill all of the Heartless, which loses a lot of time, so it's good to have it open early. And there's a bunch of text here. Then we have a cutscene, and we have more text. Lots of text. But I think that this is the one visit that has the most text, and then after this, it's not really much. I think the longest text scene after this is the one in Hollow Bastion.
Yeah, there's just periods in the game where there's a lot of text and cutscenes and everything. But then there's also like very big periods of time where it's a lot of action and fighting.
Yeah. So now we're going to buy the Haste Gummy and the Fire Gummy. The Fire Gummy is the engine, it's a boosted engine, gives us more speed. And the Haste Gummy lets us do a boost over a period of time by using the square button. And it recharges over time. That'll be very, very useful. So I'm warping to Wonderland because it puts us closer to the warp hole, which saves a little bit of time. Now I'm going to do a gummy menu and put those 2 gummy pieces on.
May I ask a question about the game versions?
Yep.
So you're running this one on PS4. I assume this is the fastest version, but could you maybe very quickly, just for those who maybe aren't aware, go through the different versions that are available? Because obviously this game's got a bit of a history.
Well, actually, the fastest version of this game, believe it or not, is the Xbox One version. Because on the Xbox One, there is a skippable opening cutscene, which saves 3.5 minutes. Unfortunately, a lot of runners prefer to run on PS4 because the Xbox controllers themselves are not very good for all the precise things we have to do in this game. Like the face buttons, the A, B, X, and Y buttons are dome-shaped, which means you have to press them down. Like it takes longer to press them down. The analog sticks are kind of funky and have dead zone issues. And the D-pad is not very good for menuing, so just all those drawbacks put together makes the Xbox version just less fun to speedrun. A lot of us are hoping that they port this game to PS5 and then they patch in an opening that's skippable, but we'll see what happens. But this game originally got ported to the PS3 with cutscene skips. But I had very slow loads, and I had some stability issues where it would randomly crash. Thankfully, most of those have been fixed on PS4. And then you have the original PS2 versions. There's a KH1 Japanese and KH1 English, but they are completely different with completely different AI and physics and everything. They're completely different runs from this game. And then you have the original PS2 Final Mix, which has the same AI as this game, but it runs in 30 FPS, and it doesn't have skippable cutscenes. Those are all the versions that I know of.
Yeah, that is one thing to mention, is that like if you played this game as a kid on PS2, you might remember that you had to watch every cutscene. Like if you died to a fight, you had to rewatch the cutscene right before it, because there were not skippable cutscenes. But on the PS3 version, they added skippable cutscenes to the game. But they, like you mentioned, the loads weren't very good. But this version is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, I love this version.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement over PS3.
Yeah. So now we're gonna do this mob fight where a bunch of bandits spawn. They spawn pretty randomly. We want them as close together as possible so we can use Blizzard on them in groups. And so far, this is actually pretty decent.
It's very similar to the Power Wild fights.
Yeah. And we have a late spawner. That can happen a lot. We want them all to spawn at the same time, but for some reason they can just decide to spawn later. There's nothing you can really do about it.
Goofy did not like that late spawner.
That's one thing, is that Goofy can like one of his attacks is to like run into an enemy, and
Yeah.
if he does that when you're trying to combo it, then he'll just push it really far away and you have to chase it down.
Yeah, and he can even
Yeah,
push bosses out of the way.
His shield has like a constant hitbox on it, so it just pushes enemies away when he runs into them.
Alright, so there I put on the Jungle King, I put on White Fang and gave Goofy EXP necklace, and I also equipped Scan so I can see the enemy's health. And unfortunately I got a black fungus spawn there. There's a chance of getting a different spawn in this room. It's a very low chance, which means not many runners will usually get it, but it does waste time fighting them because they can turn into stone and be invincible. So you just want to exit the room and come back.
And Violin in that previous menu did put the EXP necklace on Goofy. That's because Goofy has some extremely useful abilities later in the game, so we want him to level up to get those by a certain point in the run.
Yeah, if you don't put on EXP necklace on Goofy, it kind of ruins the entire run. Because we rely a lot on level up abilities. Alright, does anyone want to explain Pot Centipede? Or, yeah.
Yeah, I got it. So on right here, he's wanting to move backwards and start comboing the head of Pot Centipede. You can do damage to the very head or the back. He wants him to break that box like he just did. He really doesn't want him to break apart in the first room, so that's why he does a very specific combo step back there. And then he does combos on him while he's walking to the second room. After he breaks the boxes, and then after he defeats him like you just did, he dodge rolls to the third room during the fade out. Because if you end the fight in the third room, then you spawn in the third room after the cutscene skip, and so you skip having to move between those three rooms to get here.
And Kai, if you want to explain Tiger Head.
So this fight can be very frustrating for a lot of runners. Basically, Violin's going to quickly get up onto the Tiger Head, and he's going to delay his attack for when Tiger Head starts attacking. If you attack him too early, he will do a different attack pattern that we don't want. Violin's just trying to get as many empty hits in here as possible before Tiger Head puts his head in the sand, like he's doing right now. And basically, after that, he's just trying to take out this second eye right here as quickly as he can. The goal is really just to get him before he picks his head back up like he just did.
Yeah, unfortunately, the bandits can just snipe you and ruin your ability to kill him before he puts his head back up. It's completely RNG.
Thankfully, though, he was able to get back up onto the Tiger Head from the right side to finish off that last eye. That's really hard to do. It's a very tight window after he lifts his head up. Because he will start flailing his head around after that.
Yeah, there's a cool little platforming optimization I just did, where I jump on that small platform just to skip some swimming. Like I said, swimming is pretty slow, so the less swimming we do, the better. And that specific movement was based on, it's based a lot on your camera positioning and where Sora is facing when you're falling down to that room.
Yeah, so in this game, the camera is like really kind of weird. It's pretty finicky. So like, what matters is the position that Sora is in sometimes when you're entering a room, and the position that the camera is in will determine what the camera will be like when you fade into the next room. So in a lot of places throughout the game, we try to move the camera in a particular way when we're entering a room so that it's in the right spot when we're opening in. You want to get Jafar, Kai?
Okay, so Jafar is a very quick and very precise fight. So there he used a blizzard right at the start to try and get Jafar to use that magic bubble attack, and then Jafar instantly tries to fly away, but if you catch him with a attack before he does, he stays on the platform and does an additional attack. And so Violin just tried to get as many quick combos as he could before Jafar finish that attack, because if he finishes it, he will teleport away. But that's what we call one cycle, where he kills him before that can happen.
Alright, now...
Yeah, if you miss that and he goes far away, then it can take like upwards of 10 seconds to get him to spawn again and then finish him off.
You want to do Genie Jafar?
Yeah, so right here we're gonna start by jumping and throwing out blizzards. We're waiting for Iago to move over to the platform over here, since he starts off kind of far away. Then as soon as he gets in reach, we start doing air combos. We want the party members to help as much as they can here, because our goal is to beat Iago, beat Genie Jafar before Iago flies off the platform, because then we'd have to wait until we can reach him again. And right there, he had plenty of time to beat him there. He got him really early.
Yeah, you kind of have to pick and choose where you're going to use finishers in that fight, because there are certain moments where if you use a finisher, it will actually have enough momentum to fling Sora off of the platform and lose time.
Yeah, you really don't want to fall off the platform. So in this section, we're going to get hit by boulders. Because you can actually die and still progress. It doesn't punish you at all. So we're going to avoid collecting HP orbs. We're going to hit as many boulders as possible. It's actually quite tricky when you're first learning how to do this, because the carpet controls are kind of finicky. But once you get it down, it's not too bad. Just knowing where to be at the right times. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of Agrabah. Next is Monstro, and until we hit Monstro, we have more time for donations.
Fantastic, because we have received another $50 from Time Lord Rich, who says, I heard my donation on stream. We'll donate another 50 if chat gets a dollar train going to match my 50. Let's go, chat. Now, just a little clarifier there. Unfortunately, the minimum donation is $5, but we only need 10 $5 donations to get that train, and the Time Lord has spoken, and they would donate another $50. So let's get those $5 in, chat. Let's get choo-choo.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Alright, so we're coming up on this warp hole that you really want to avoid. And then after that, you can just hold square and circle, and just make sure your gummy ship is centered. You don't have to touch anything else. You'll make it to Monstro just fine.
Yeah, and we were talking about the PS2 version before. On the PS2 version, this Monstro is actually missable, but you need to get to Monstro to complete the game. So it was just another RNG thing. But in this version, you always get Monstro if you pass by him.
Yeah, it's a good thing we don't have 2 RNG worlds.
Yeah, that would be bad.
And Monstro is actually the shortest world in the run. We do have one cool movement section, and 2 boss fights. That's pretty much it. And then we're off to my least favorite world, Halloween Town. I'll explain.
Mine too.
It's a lot of runners' least favorite runs. It just has a lot of random elements to it, but it can be fun at times. It all
Monstro
depends.
is probably a personal favorite of mine in terms of the Disney worlds in this game, especially in speedrunning, because it's very short and sweet. It has things that are really fun to pull off, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a really great world.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of weird that Monstro can breathe in space.
Yeah.
And so when you see Monstro come back on screen, you actually don't have to mash any of the text boxes. They auto advance, which is pretty nice. Just a little fun fact.
I think it's when they have the little yellow arrow next to the text. That's when you need to mash them.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Can I get quickly in here? We've got a train starting.
Yep.
Okay, let's start us off. We've had $5 from DJ Wingo, who says, choo choo! Let's keep that going. Keep going with the $5 train, please.
Ninten, do you want to take chamber skip?
Yep, so right here we're coming up on the thing called Chamber 3 skip. What he's going to be doing is after his cutscene, he's going to be entering a different chamber. And when you load into this chamber, you're going to be starting off falling to the ground. But you want to do a keyblade swing in the air to try to get on the ledge that you start from. So right there, he did a keyblade swing onto there. He moved slightly upwards so that he wouldn't hit his head on the ceiling. And then he did a jump, a very precise jump towards the ledge on the right so that he could ledge grab and then skip going into chamber 3. And that saves like 10 seconds roughly. It's a pretty cool skip. It's pretty cool movement.
It's really difficult to learn, but once you get it down, there's just some timing to the swing.
Yeah. It's a lot easier on PS4 though. On PS2 it's and PS3, since the game is running at 30 FPS, it's harder to time that. And now this is Chris Cage. We wanna try to keep him stun locked the entire fight, but he can just randomly break out. Thankfully, he's giving me very good luck here.
I think in the first fight, he breaks out because of Riku hitting him a certain way. I think if Riku hits him at the same time as you.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen as much in the second fight, but the second fight, your party members can still mess things up. Don't worry.
Yeah. And Goofy just got Cheer there, which we're going to be using. Basically, what Cheer does is it extends the duration of your summons and makes them stronger.
An interesting fact is that in the English version, after that cutscene, you actually spawn on top of the boat where the chest that has high jump is. But in the Japanese version, you don't.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Unless you let the cutscene play out and then you spawn on the boat, which is pretty strange. What the? Sora sometimes hates ledge grabbing, apparently.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's kind of a mess, but that's fine. Lost like 10 seconds at most. Alright, we're gonna try to get an early stagger here. It's really precise.
Yeah, so as soon as the fight loads in, he's going to be jumping and doing a hit and then trying to finish the combo to stagger him before Parasite Cage can get off an attack. Ooh, he just got it. That's really impressive. It's really hard to do.
I dropped the combo.
Oh no.
It's very precise. Like, these fights, you have to stay consistent with your combos or else you'll lose a bit of time. And in this fight in particular, the second one, if Donald and Goofy attack him too much, he will open up his stomach, and then you can't do any finishers. Because if you do finishers, he will start to retaliate.
Yeah, it's if they attack his head, because whenever you attack his head, he'll open his stomach.
Yeah.
And his stomach like drops HP orbs and stuff, but it's actually slower for the speedrun strat.
Let me know when you've got a second.
Yep.
Okay, we have received another $5 from Rye Guy. Cheers for the dollar train. Good luck on the run, Violin. I'll have my shades ready. Well, thank you very much. Let's keep that train steaming along. And we've received $50 from Mason S. Here's to you, Time Lord. And thanks to all the Kingdom Hearts speedrunners who've made me fall in love with it again. Well, thank you very much indeed for that amazing, generous donation. Keep the train going, folks.
Thank you so much, guys.
Alright, and now we're going to warp back to Monstro and pick up a really important item.
Yeah, so the item is Water Gleam. It's another gem we're going to give to Fairy Godmother, and which gives us access to Dumbo. And Dumbo, believe it or not, is not used for combat, used for something else, but I'll keep that a secret until the time comes. It's actually pretty cool.
Well, we're going into Monstro. Time for another one?
Yeah.
Hey, we have received $5 from Jacob. Choo choo!
The Jacob. Alright, there's Water Gleam, and now we're going to put on Ray of Light, because having the extra 1 MP actually makes a huge difference in Halloween Town. We're going to be fighting a lot of Heartless mobs, and the extra MP, like I said at the start of the run, the more MP you have, the stronger your magic is. So we're going to be utilizing a lot of blizzards, and we're just going to save up a lot of magic and deal more damage with the extra MP. And then we're going to change back to Raven's Claw, before the Oogie fight, because we want to have more strength in that fight. And this is also the shortest going mission, because we're already at Halloween Town.
Extremely short.
Yeah. And Halloween Town is also has a lot of movement.
And a lot of RNG elements as well.
Yeah. Just a lot going on.
So, right when he enters this world, he's gonna pick up a power-up. It's up on a ledge here. To get 1 extra strength. And that makes enemies in this world take 1 less hit kill.
I'm also going to take Jack's ethers, because he comes with 2 ethers. And those ethers are going to be used... one's going to be used in Halloween Town, the second one might be used for the Riku fight in Hollow Bastion, but it might not. It depends on what happens. The second ether...
Yeah, we don't want to...
second ether isn't used all the time, but it's good for safety.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't want to like waste too much time getting ethers because they're not super necessary. Like we could have gotten some from Aladdin, for and more different like newer runners could get that for safety, so that you have more options to use an ether in some fights like Riku and Behemoth later on in the game. But for the most part, you don't actually need to use every ether that you have.
Alright, this is the first Heartless fight. There's a wave of shadows here. He somehow lived, that's fine. Gonna kill these ghosts and then do a big jump to spawn the White Knights quicker. For some reason.
Yeah, there's a very weird thing in this fight where after you kill a wave of Heartless, if you immediately do a jump, the next wave will spawn instantly. If you don't, there's a delay.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. And then there is, oh, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Can I just remind everybody, please keep those donations going in. We need to keep the train stoked up. Keep going, just $5. Remember, all your donations go towards Alzheimer Fund, an amazing cause. And once we get those donations, Time Lord Rich will give us another $50, which is absolutely fantastic. So please keep those donations coming in.
Alright, so now we're heading to the second Heartless fight, and there is a chance White Mushrooms could spawn, or we're gonna fight White Knights. We want the White Knights to spawn, because it's faster. Okay,
and
good.
there is a cool skip we can show off.
Alright, cool. So he's going to be targeting the left knight and throwing out 3 blizzards to defeat both of them with each blizzard. And then right there, he did a dodge roll into the reaction command for the graveyard, or the gravestone. And he was mashing triangle so that he could enter it before the enemies spawn in, and the command menu becomes red, and then he'll have to defeat all of the Heartless. But if you mash it fast enough, then you can go in.
I nearly just selected the wrong tombstone there.
Those 7 tombstones, there's 3 ghosts that spawn from one of them. It's completely random. You can get all on the same tombstone or completely different ones. Optimally, you'd want to get the last one 3 times because it's the closest to the exit.
Yeah. That was a good segment right there.
Very good.
Alright, and after this, we have another RNG section. We're gonna do... There's a fight at the Curly Hill, and there's a chance a black fungus can spawn. And in Agrabah, it only loses 5 seconds, but in Halloween Town, you have to light a lantern with fire. So not only does it waste MP, but it also wastes at least 10 seconds. Just going back and forth, so we really don't want that.
Let's see.
No fungus.
It's pretty unlucky to get to... You didn't get any? Nope. Oh, nice.
And so then here he's trying to lock onto the back Heartless and then just use a bunch of blizzards on these guys to clear the area so that he can interact with this tombstone to get to the next area.
I thought I saw another White Knight moving around, but I think it was a Donald.
It does kind of look like one.
Yeah. Also, I am a little tired. This is like the opposite of my sleep schedule. So bear with me. Alright, does anyone want to explain community climb?
Yeah, so...
oh, never mind, you can go.
Okay, so basically a lot of KH1 runners were able to come up with a lot of different jumps to climb up this tower without having to do the intended route of like playing hardest and then entering and doing like RCs or whatever. So we do like a bunch of different jumps here. Like he skipped the bottom floor from jumping on the side. He does a kid-bait swing to get up and just skip ledge grabs. And now we have Log Truck Barrel, which is jump and shoot blizzards and just pray that they all get hit by the blizzard.
Which they're not, of course.
They're
Of course not.
Barrel is trolling the heck out of me.
are extremely quick and they're really small, so getting combos on them is very hard. And so we try to use crowd control as much as we can, but they're really difficult to get them all hit by the blizzard.
Yeah, it's
like
random
that.
where they move at the start. Alright, so now we're gonna hit a switch to unlock Oogie's door. We're gonna do a quick menu.
So in that menu, he put back on the White Fang for extra strength, because he doesn't really need the magic anymore, and then he put on an air combo plus, which adds 1 extra air hit to his air combos.
Yeah.
And then here he's gonna do the Oogie fight. This fight is a lot of runners' least favorites. So at the start of the fight, these Heartless that Oogie spawns, he's gonna try and jump and do a blizzard. And that triggers the Heartless to come down towards you so that he can take them out. And then these switches light up on the floor. And you wanna catch the switch where Oogie is, corresponding with above you where he's standing, but you don't want your party members to be in there with you, because Oogie is one of the enemies in this game that has a hit counter, and the party members don't do nearly as much damage as Sora does, and so it wastes hits there and there, and then you'll have to do an extra cycle on the fight.
I don't like where this camera is. Oh, I can't believe I got
Here,
that. No.
Yeah, Oogie almost died.
You're about to see what
no.
He baited me, dude.
Optimally, you'd want to deflect those dice with your Keyblade, which Violin did, and then that makes the switches come back automatically. If you don't do that, Oogie can spawn Heartless or do something else and just waste time. He doesn't attack, basically. And but unfortunately, Violin triggered the wrong switch, so Oogie was not standing in the right place, and it cost him a lot of time. And so now he has to reflect the dice once again. Oh, and there he got it. Okay, so Donald is in the platform with him again, but...
Oh my goodness, dude.
Oh no. He's up there.
That's fine.
Oh, no.
That's fine.
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so as you can see, that a lot can go wrong in that fight.
Yeah.
And, some of it isn't really entirely up to the runner. Yeah, but all things considered, I think Violin handled it pretty well with what he got.
Somewhat.
Yeah, deflecting those dice is really, really difficult, and he was able to do it twice, which is really impressive.
And he did not get a very good pattern. They were very spread out.
Yeah.
We have a...
Yeah, Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. We do have a quick donation for you. $10 anonymous donation without a comment. But thank you very much again. Be generous today.
Cool.
Alright, so right here we have Oogie Manor, which is the manor we just climbed up. Now we have to destroy these weird purple orbs. I'm not really sure why, but we have to do 5 hits. So he tries to do 2 hits and then 3 hits to finish it off. We don't want to do finisher because they're pretty slow. And then you try to avoid getting hit by anything at all costs. So there's like fireballs, like right there you saw. They can just come out of nowhere. It's pretty random. You don't want to get hit off too. Like he almost did right there.
Yeah, you can fall through very small openings.
Right there was a pretty precise jump where you use your high jump to grab the ledge instead of going around.
Yeah.
That was a pretty clean fight.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so after this... Yeah, for the most part. And now we have the Neverland Gummy mission coming up. And supposedly there's a 30% chance of missing Hookship, which means you go to Atlantica instead. But My
For
data.
you, it's about 60.
Yeah, my data says otherwise.
I think it's like 50.
50-50, I mean, yeah.
So
It kind of depends. It just depends if the game likes you or not.
yeah.
Yeah,
During
it can
these,
happen on any run.
yeah, during this going mission, I like to put on my sunglasses, just because it sometimes manipulates the RNG, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and you can read off some more donations.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, please keep those $5 coming in, folks. Remember, all your donations are going towards Alzheimer-Fonden. Alzheimer-Fonden is a Swedish national fundraising organisation focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Their aim and purpose is to increase fundraising to the benefit of scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. And remember, if you put in a minimum $30 donation, that will get you in the draw for the ViewSonic monitor, and a minimum $50 donation will get you in the draw for the Nintendo Switch. So please keep your very generous donations coming in.
Alrighty. We are
Yeah, so this is one of the. This is like the worst part of the game if you're going for a PB or a world record. Like you spend a whole hour performing really well, having a really good run, and then if you miss hook ship, which is completely out of your control, you lose upwards of like 50 seconds. So it's pretty much your run is dead at that point.
Yeah. On top of that, you can miss hook ship multiple times in a row.
Yeah.
So let's hope that doesn't happen. Okay, I got hook ship first try. That's good.
Nice.
Luckily, if you do miss it, it's not as much time lost the second time. Like, it doesn't add another 50 seconds, but you still have that initial 50-second loss regardless, so...
Yeah, it's about 20 seconds
just good to get.
for all the times after.
Let me know when you've got a second.
Yeah.
Okay, we've received $50 from Leon Phoenix, who says Kingdom Hearts was one of those games that came along at exactly the right time and thus has a special place in my heart. It has a fantastic atmosphere, great story and solid gameplay, and I highly recommend anyone to play it. Enjoy the run and the event, and in the immortal words of Goofy,
I agree.
I agree.
Me too.
We've also received $20 from Rico, who just says,
Yo.
Violin Hog. Thank you very much indeed for both those very generous donations.
Thanks, Rico.
So that was a really cool movement Violin just did. He did like a keyblade swing at the apex of his jump to enter the loading zone of that ladder, instead of spending the time to climb up the entire thing.
Yeah, different runners like to do different things there. Sometimes you can do a cure spell at the apex of your jump, and that will get you into the loading zone as well, or a ledge grab.
Yeah. Alright, does anyone want to explain the hardest run in the fight?
The hardest run in the fight.
The hardest run in the hardest fight in the run? I'm tired.
Okay, sure, yeah. So the reason this fight is so hard is because you need to have very precise air combos. You cannot drop a single one. So what? Also, the beginning is completely random. So he got a good pattern here where Anti-Sora was right next to him walking around. What he's gonna be doing is using stop, and then 5 hits in between each stop. The reason it's so hard is because Anti-Sora, his model is like really weird, and like depending on where you're hitting him from. So like right here, he's really low to the ground, so it's really difficult to get off more than one hit. After he breaks out, you do 5 hits and then he disappears and he comes back. You have to catch him for like the 1 frame that you're able to hurt him after he swings his Keyblade, so that you can get him before he goes on the ground. That was a good fight because he didn't break out at all.
Yeah, and there is a fast fade out you can get at the end of that by dodge rolling into the door. I'm honestly convinced that it's pretty random at this point.
It's random. It's gotta be random, yeah.
But there's probably some kind of timing involved as well. It's like you time it right, but then even if you do, it's still only like 50-50 if you actually get it.
It may look like not that hard to see Violin doing those air hits, but it's like really hard to do. It takes a lot of practice to be able to do air combos that way.
Anti-Sora is like the same size as Sora, so it's like you're fighting yourself, and Sora's very low to the ground when he's fighting.
Yeah, so we're gonna summon Simba here. Also, does anyone want to explain the menu I did? Because there's a lot of those going on.
Yeah. So, essentially, Violin customized Peter Pan and Goofy. He customized Goofy's support actions to more often. That's for later. He'll have an ability where he can give you MP. But then he also customized Peter Pan's MP items. Peter Pan comes with some ethers, and for the next Captain Hook fight, we want him to use all those ethers on us so that we can continue to use Stop on Captain Hook. He also equipped the Tornado ability for Goofy, which does a lot of damage to bosses. And I think that's it, right?
I also put on Ray of Light and Raven's Claw, and put on Pumpkinhead. And also put on Cheer on Donald, and which increases the duration of the Simba summon. So we're gonna do a stop loop on Simba. Hopefully Peter Pan gives me ethers.
I think you said Simba, but yeah, on Hook.
Oh, on the pre-hook fight. What is happening?
Oh,
What is this?
Bear with us, we're a little tired.
He has a present for me. Uh-oh.
Yeah, as you can see, Hook could very easily break out of stops, and then while he's doing certain attacks, he's also invincible. But optimally, you just want to do one stop and then a full air combo in between until he's dead. But it looks like Violin got unlucky because the ship Heartless kind of knocked him out of stopping it.
It's unfortunate.
It kind of throws off the whole rhythm of the fight.
At least he didn't fall into the water. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Oh yeah, if he falls into the water, he gets knocked up really, really high, and it just does this long, cartoonish animation.
Yeah.
Another thing that sucks about that fight is the ship can shoot out like a healing missile, and it just heals Captain Hook when it hits him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've
never gotten that in a speedrun, but that is a thing.
Interesting.
Let me know when you've got a second.
Yeah, we have plenty of time.
Okay, fantastic. Pokemon198 has donated $30. Much luck, and may your heart be your guiding key. And I would like to point out that we've raised over $400 during this run so far.
Nice.
Let's just keep going, folks. If we can maybe push it, we are approximately just under, what are we, $404 would get us 22,000. So, and we've got more coming in just now. So keep those donations coming in, folks. Let's see if we can hit 22k.
Alright, so Violin is putting on the Flare G that he just grabbed. He replaced the old engine because it doesn't really matter if you have... It'll always use your best engine, so it doesn't matter if you have your engine on there or not.
Yeah, I also equipped Guard and Ars Arcanum, which is a limit. And also equipped Fairy Harp, which has more damage output. And now I'm collecting Simba, 'cause that's going to be used in not Simba, Dumbo, because that's going to be used in Hollow Bastion.
Violin also equipped Glide, that's very useful for movement, and you'll see him use it in this next section right here. So this is the fight that Ninten mentioned earlier that most people think that you would have to do in the second visit to Traverse Town. So we're much more powerful now, so we're going to come back and fight him now.
Yeah, and that fight has a lot of RNG as well. Opposite Armor could either just fly around if he wants to, he can break apart when he wants to, or he can attack us, which is what we want, because then we can parry him and then punish him. I used the fire there to set up my MP to be higher. I know that doesn't make sense in out of context, but in the context of KH1, when you use magic, you gain a yellow MP bar that basically manipulates my MP so I can do 2 Ars Arcanums on opposite armor. And that prevents me from having to use an ether. So it lets me save an ether for Riku, which is much more useful there.
Yeah, so here he's gonna ring this bell 3 times, and that's gonna basically kick things off to start the fight.
It's kind of weird the way that the MP works. Like, like you said, if you use one fire, then your Lelo MP bar goes very high up, and because it only wastes like one part of that bar, but we're able to use that to our advantage sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just like really weird. I don't even understand it. It's complicated.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is pre-fight. Very, very easy. Just do 3 hits, and he's down.
Oh, I was gonna make a joke and say, "Wow, that was fast."
Oh. Alright, let's hope for good RNG.
So he's gonna guard this attack right off the start, and then use R's to take out one of the limbs here. And then this next attack is completely random. Looks like he got a good pattern here, so you want him to do the same attack again. Same thing, just uses the R's, and then if he can take out his feet quick enough, then he can avoid any really long animations, because he's kind of like the guard armor fight from earlier, where he has really long animations where he's invincible. That was an incredible fight.
Yeah, it was really good. Also, you can skip the cutscene there while the HUD is still up, which is really funny. But yeah, that was the best possible outcome. I got pretty much perfect RNG there.
That was pretty much a flawless fight.
Yeah.
That fight can lose it a lot of time too if it gives you bad luck.
Yeah, it can lose upwards of 25 seconds.
25.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I've done that a few times.
Alright, now we have more cutscenes. And then we're gonna head over to Hollow Bastion. And if we have some more donations, we have a couple of minutes.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'd like to remind everyone that we are ESA Summer Online, raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. We're currently sitting at $21,681. So if we could just give it that little bit more push, we can maybe make the 22 by the end of this run. And I don't know about everybody who's watching, but Violin, this is an absolutely fantastic run. It's been really enjoyable so far. Looking forward to the conclusion. So please, folks, show your appreciation. See if we can benefit the charity and get those donations in. Remember, $30 minimum enters you into the draw for the monitor. $50 enters you into the draw for the Nintendo Switch.
Sounds like a win-win to me. So definitely get those donations in. Alright, so now we have another gummy mission. Pretty much just want to hold square and circle. But there are certain loading zones in between where the screen transitions into a more purple background, and we want to make sure we're not holding square here, because you would be wasting your boost during the transition. And there we go. That saves like 1 or 2 seconds, but it's a small optimization we've made over the past few years. And then we have another instance of that on the gummy mission after this, and the one towards End of the World, which is the final world of the game.
Yeah, and a lot of these enemies actually do pretty decent amount of damage to the ship, which is why most people put on a gun is to be safe.
Yeah.
That.
It's very dangerous going into these in-game gummy ship missions without the gun put on.
There are some runners though that still don't put on a gun.
Yeah, you're forced to run into a few obstacles, and you can't really take out anything that's in your path. You kind of have to dodge it, so
Yeah.
you have to be a lot more focused on what you're doing.
And this world is my personal favorite in the speedrun. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but I love it.
At first, I didn't agree. I thought it was kind of slow, but then Ninten kind of gave me some perspective. He's like, but all the movement you can do, Kai. And I was like, you know what, you have a point. So then after that, I started to kind of really enjoy the world.
Yeah. So we're just trying to make this cycle very simple. Just want to glide and dodge roll. And then we have this cutscene, and this is the longest load screen. Takes 13 heart spins. I counted, trust me.
Well,
so,
that's a very convenient number.
Yeah, Nomura must have planned it.
I think it's fun.
Because a lot is going on in that load screen. It's changing your weapons, changing your party. So now we have the wooden sword, which doesn't deal any physical damage, but you can still cast magic, which is very nice. So we're going to soft shortcut gravity. Basically, in this game, you can hover over a magic spell in your command menu and back out of the menu. And next time you go into the menu, it'll still be on the magic that you last had selected. And we call that soft shortcutting.
Yeah, the pause menus work the same way, so our muscle memory is, from doing this run, is kind of based off of like where we are in the run. So a lot of our placements in the menus where the cursor is the game just kind of remembers it, even throughout like so many loading screens.
Yeah.
Let us know when you've got a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. We have received $55 from Pip Dish Boat Warrior. It all started yesterday. What a day that was. It's what I call a bad fur day. Well, thank you very much indeed. Anne Hartigan has donated $10. Love Violin's streams for this game, and this makes no exception. Bless the run. And finally, IMJV has donated $20. Join me on the journey to the dark road. Good luck with the rest of the run camp. Thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate it. Alright, so now we're going to use gravity on this Defender Heartless, and we're going to have Beast finish him off. Good job, Beast. We're going to hit this switch, which unlocks the door to the castle, to the entrance, so we can go fight Riku. Believe it or not, there is a very, very precise way of getting to the arena where you fight Riku early before doing this puzzle. But unfortunately, you soft lock the game when you do that, because there are still barriers in that room that are spawned even before the fight starts, so it doesn't let you leave once you enter. The barriers only disappear once you actually defeat Riku, and the story flag is hit. Alright, so now we're gonna, because we're very weak and we have the wooden sword, and Beast doesn't do a lot of damage on his own, we want to try to despawn these dark balls. And then we'll hit the switch. You just stand in the corner that I did. It works pretty much every time.
And then the next fight coming up is Riku 1. It's a really frustrating fight for most runners because he just does not stop attacking. He does, and he moves around a lot and he jumps. Basically, our goal here is we're going to try and command Goofy and get Riku into a corner to where Goofy's using the tornado attack on him, and we can use Ars Arcanum at the same time and just do massive damage. Because he doesn't have that much health, but it's really hard to get hits in.
Yeah. So at the start of the fight here, I like to hit Riku 2 times and then go into Ars to set up the positioning of Goofy. Let's see if it works. It worked. That's good. Okay. So far, so good.
Goofy's shield is really helpful in this fight. He can block Riku's attacks.
Oh,
that was a really... Oh, wait, I spoke to
Oh, no.
Oh,
no, dude.
The final hit, dude.
That happens way more often than you'd think. I've had so many fights where Riku will get down to 1 hit, and then he will just not stop attacking, and I just can't hit him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very frustrating fight, but that was really well done.
That's funny, my command for Goofy got buffered through the cutscene, so he yelled at me after the skip.
Sora! Sora, go into the library!
So now we're gonna pick up a book from this table. You can dodge roll into it, and then place it in here. There's gonna be a switch. And then there's going to be a puzzle we have to do. The movement for the puzzle is actually pretty cool. We're just going to do fires in the air and the lock-on switch. It's actually pretty satisfying if you do it very optimally.
Never puts the book back.
Yeah, he just steals it. Oh, what am I doing?
Yeah. Sora's book is so overdue at this point.
Probably by the time K3 can go.
And he still hasn't eaten his dinner either. He's got a lot of stuff to catch up on.
He only changes his clothes like once a year.
So we're coming up on this statue that you need to push to unlock one of the emblem pieces, and it's really interesting because a lot of the time Sora will do like an empty push in the middle. As you can see, Violin got that there. I've seen him do like 8 of those, and then we've also seen him do 2 pushes, but never 1 push. He never pushes it.
If you do more than 3 pushes, that means your party members are too close to you, so you have to push them out of the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's why it happens, yeah. You can get a consistency push if you do a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. Also, there is a pretty risky skip you can do during that puzzle where you can glide towards the center while the animation for the final candle is happening. But you have to glide completely blind without being able to see Sora, and it loses.
It's extremely risky.
Yeah, it only saves like 3 seconds, but it loses 30 seconds if you fall down.
Oh. For this next section, we're trying to get across, not only to despawn the Heartless, but to pick up a gummy part in this chest. So Violin did a stop, a gravity, and 2 fires on that Wyvern Heartless to kill it. And then we just hope that this other one doesn't follow us over here, and so that the enemies despawn so we can open this chest, and then we glide back to activate the switch. So it kind of accomplishes 2 things at once.
Yeah. Alright, and then we have the elevator fight where 3 wizards spawn. The goal here is to have Goofy's tornado on the closest wizard to us, and then I will take care of the other 2 wizards. And the 3rd wizard will try to attack us, and I need to dodge roll it so it doesn't disappear. Because wizards can vanish and then reappear, which wastes a lot of time. Also, Donald has a chance of just randomly casting stop, which is not fun.
And then I hope that Goofy does his job there. Yep, he did tornado.
Oh. That was completely on me.
No, he disappeared.
Yeah, I was too slow. Goofy did a fantastic job, but I did not. Only lost like 3 seconds. That's not too bad. Alright, I want to pick up MP orbs, so I have enough MP to summon Simba, or my goodness, to summon Dumbo, and also enough MP, and also enough MP to do the Maleficent strat, which requires a lot of MP as well.
So Captain Hook is Simba, Dumbo is Simba, Simba is Dumbo.
Everyone is Simba. Everyone.
Except for Dumbo. No, except for Simba, he's Dumbo.
Except for Simba himself.
The Lion Kings.
Alright, so you're gonna see why we use Dumbo in a little bit. There's a cool movement skip that saves quite a bit of time.
When I first saw this, I was really upset because I always hated going around the other side to activate the other switch, but it's really, really cool.
Just hold down the jump button, and then Dumbo will fly upwards. You can dismiss when you're at your height, and then Sora will ledge grab on that ledge, and just skip everything else.
Yep, easy peasy.
Yeah. It really feels like you're breaking the game because when you enter the loading zone to get into the next room, it like stops you for a second.
Yeah.
As if you're not supposed to be there.
Alright, does anyone want to explain Maleficent?
I got it. So at the beginning of the fight, Violin's going to jump and glide onto her platform, and then he's going to do 2 hits into an R's. You don't want to hit her with the R's finisher or any combo finishers because she will stagger and then teleport away. So we just want to keep her right here and do all hits but the finishers on these combos until she's at half a bar of health, and then finish her off with another R's.
Dude,
So
Goofy
pretty
was a champ there with his tornadoes.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Again,
for Maleficent Dragon, we have a cool stop shot we can do, but I implemented a really, really stupidly hard optimization where you have to get Goofy to do 3 or 4 tornadoes, and we can save having to do the last stop on her. So let's hope Goofy does his job. Yeah, saves 2.5 seconds doing that optimization. But this is super precise, so I need some focus time.
Okay.
Looks like Goofy did not decide to do the tornadoes, so we had to do the final stop. But that was a really good fight anyway.
So if he does, what, 3 or 4, you don't have to do the last one?
If he does 3 tornadoes, and if you see all of his MP gone before the last stop, that means he did it correctly. Like, Maleficent will have less HP when she gets unstopped.
Those Maleficent fights, especially the second one, it looks pretty easy to do, but the combos, you have to be pretty precise with how you time your combos and everything to make sure she stays in the proper stop loop and does the right animations and stuff.
Alright, Nintendo, you want to explain this upcoming fight?
Oh yeah. So we're going up to Riku. You might remember this fight from when you played this game as a kid, because it was a really hard fight and you had to rewatch the cutscene where Sora talks about Kairi's heart and whatever. But right here, what we're going to be doing is Violin is going to start the fight off by doing 3 staggers on Riku, and then going into an R's. He's doing really particular combos to kind of get Riku's stagger count in the correct way. I was wrong about 3 staggers, but I know it's 10 mile staggers. But basically, the way Riku works is that after every 4 staggers, he will do retaliation, and we want to catch him after retaliation and stagger him again before he's able to do anything else, because if he does break out, then he'll do a desperation move, and that wastes out like 20 or 10 seconds. So he was doing a really hard strat right there where you do an extra hit in the very start, and then the second hit is what staggers him. And then to be able to do that strat, you have to attack very quickly after you land on the ground.
Yeah, it's a very, very advanced strat. You have to do very short hops as well, because if you jump too high, you'll just miss. That was a really good strat. I got really lucky with the stagger after the power-up that he did. Because you can catch him. There's a few frames where you can catch him before he starts attacking again. And if you get it, it's pretty nice. It's a pretty fast fight. And now we're a Shadow. We have to make our way back to Kairi and gang. But in the meantime, we have a lot of time for donations, actually.
Fantastic, so we've got a nice donation here. I'm going to do my best with this one. We have received $20 from Jacob4260, who says, I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power. Thank you very much indeed for that very generous donation. Remember also, folks, that we are raising money for Alzheimerfonden. We're ESA Summer Online. We've now raised over 21,000, 21,701. So we're only just shy of 300 away from 22,000. Let's see if we can get to that.
Alright, so in that cutscene where Donald hits Sora as a shadow, you want to skip that cutscene before Donald bonks Sora, otherwise the run isn't valid. No, I'm just kidding. But it's a pretty big meme in the community to get bonkless there. I don't know why, but it's funny.
I never can get it.
Unfortunately, I failed it miserably.
Wait, it's a joke? I thought the run really isn't that.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
You gotta restart. You gotta reset it.
You're telling me I didn't submit my world record for nothing?
Man, I should have pushed my estimate up 2 hours. Dang it, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so now we're gonna go get the Oathkeeper. Pretty nice Keyblade, gives us a lot of magic. Just pretty useful for the rest of the run. pretty much. And this is also where you'll be seeing the Oathkeeper cutscene glitch, but you won't see it during the run. It's pretty funny though, so I hope you guys stick around.
It's pretty funny, I love it. If you haven't seen it before, you gotta check it out.
And you're in for a treat if you have not seen it.
Seeing that for the first time is, it's magical.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so now we're gonna go to the Magician's Study. It's actually like 1 or 2 seconds faster to go through here and save warp to the accessory shop than to not do that.
Yeah, then to go back the way that you came.
And Nintendo and I actually tested that live during a marathon race earlier last year.
I remember.
And we saw a live comparison of the movement. Alright, and after this we have one more gummy menu. And you'll see our ship is going to be extremely fast compared to what it was. Because now we have Haste 2G. And I believe in this game... Actually, I'm not sure. Do the Haste gummies stack with each other? Do you guys know?
I don't... I would say that they probably don't, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. Well, regardless, we're putting on Haste 2G. Nice menu, by the way. Putting on Haste 2G. And now look how fast the ship is. Oh, it's crazy fast.
Oh man.
It's so much faster that it has a blue stream on the back of it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one more thing to mention is that the menus in this game are actually pretty difficult. Like, Violin's been doing them all pretty well. But like sometimes, like you saw in the gummy menu, it's hard to time your inputs correctly because there is lag between certain inputs in the menu, but not all of them. So like you have to know where you can press what button and how fast you can press it because you can do it too quickly a lot of the time.
Yeah, KH1 menu set up a lot of delay. In KH2, thankfully, the menus are so smooth and so perfect. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to keep in mind in this game pretty much at all times. Like, there's always just small optimizations to be made in sections that you wouldn't even think would need it.
Like I held off on another boost in the middle of the transition there. Oh, and also in this coming mission, you can quit out halfway. And Hollow Bastion will be accessible to you. I think the way that was found was a cool runner named Spike Vegeta accidentally died in the middle of a gummy mission to Hollow Bastion's second visit, and accidentally found out that you could just go there afterwards.
Yeah, and I think they narrowed it down to that transition is where the game lets you do it.
Alright, now I'm gonna do a really fast menu. Alright, we'll see. It's gonna be so fast.
Oh boy.
This is my best. This is my best menu.
It's my worst menu.
And I messed it up already.
It's okay. You're still going strong.
All right. So we shortcutted gravity onto triangle there. Put on Leaf Bracer on Sora. Gave cheer to Donald. Or to Goofy. We took off Tornado. And that's the most important parts of the menu. And we also put on Oathkeeper.
I would say it's probably the hardest menu in the game.
I think the one after Anti-Sora is slightly harder, but not by much.
A lot of people think that one's hard.
Oh yeah, Simba's back. And I said Simba on purpose. Don't worry.
Yeah, so now that we've beaten the Riku 1 fight, we can just do this skip right here to get to the switch automatically. But we couldn't do that before.
And if you're fast enough, you can get the wizard to despawn much sooner, which I did, so that's cool. And now we're going to position Beast to be slightly behind us. And there's going to be a wizard that spawns in the middle. We're going to use gravity on it. And hopefully Beast jumps up to the wizard and then roars. And then clears all of the Heartless in this fight. That is the goal.
Yeah, but sometimes he can not roar, and then you have to kill them all.
Or he can roar too early, like he just did.
Oh no.
Yeah, or he will get hit by a Heartless out of the roar. So multiple things can happen that mess up that fight. That still was a pretty quick recovery though by Violin.
Yeah. But unfortunately, Goofy used one of his MP gifts. Oh yeah, MP gift is another important ability. So Goofy can trade 2 of his MP to give a party member 3 MP, which is pretty nice. But since Goofy used 2 of his MP, what's gonna happen after I summon Dumbo again is both Beast and Goofy are going to use an ether on me and waste their items.
Well,
so,
Goofy
we'll
will get his MP refilled at a save point after, so it doesn't really matter, but Beast is going to waste it there completely.
Yeah, Beast actually uses an ether. So, but it's fine. I can do without that one ether. If the
both want to be Sora's favorite.
Yeah. Alright, this will be the last use of Dumbo in this run.
Bye, Simba.
No, actually I have 3 MP, so they're not gonna use anything.
Oh, nice.
Just kidding, Beast used a potion on me.
Oh.
I lied.
Well, I mean, that's not as bad.
Yeah.
Unless you almost die on this next fight.
Which rarely happens. Alright.
Ninten, do you want to cover Behemoth?
Yeah, I can get Behemoth. So, Violin's heading up here to get to Behemoth. He jumped over that ledge right there, small time save. This fight is kind of difficult because if you can just barely not kill him, and it's really hard to get your last hit off him. But he's going to try. He wants to have his party members help him out and attack the horn when he lowers the horn. And to get him to lower the horn, he's going to be doing an Ars Arcanum on the top right there.
Goofy's just chilling.
So now he's going to do his second Ars. After he lowered the horn, party members did pretty much nothing at all right there except for watch, so that was good. But now he's going to jump back up, do another Rs, and hopefully knock Behemoth down again. Yep, he just did. Now maybe the party members will help.
What is Beast doing up there, dude? I've never seen him up there.
Alright, so he can probably finish him off with an Rs right here.
Yeah, this was a good fight.
The worst thing that can happen is that Behemoth will jump, and if he jumps to the wall and then lowers his horn can go inside of the wall, and then you cannot attack it at all, and you have to wait the entire time. It wastes a ridiculous amount of time.
It happens to me more often than I'm proud of.
Mm-hmm. So after this we have an unskippable cutscene that cannot be skipped because it is unskippable, so we have plenty of time for donations.
Okay, fantastic. Well, just to remind everyone that we are ESA Summer Online, raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. We've raised over $21,000 so far, so please keep your donations coming in. We'd also like to remind you that Alzheimer Fonden, thanks to the gifts and wills from private individuals and companies, they were able to distribute almost 30 million Swedish krona last year. However, the money is still not enough to be able to support all the important projects that lie ahead, and the Alzheimer's Fund could only grant about 19% of the funds applied for. So all of your donations go towards this absolutely critical, very important cause. The World Health Organization classifies dementia as one of the world's greatest health problems, and just over 47 million people are affected. And it is estimated that the number of dementia diseases in the world will have tripled up to 2050. So again, every little bit that you put towards this is really going to help everybody who is affected, and also potentially into the future as well. So thank you so much again for all of your generous donations.
Alright, so after this cutscene we're going to get a fire upgrade, which is very, very nice, and we're going to put on Omega Arts, which we got from Behemoth, which gives us extra strength to deal with the Heartless fight in End of the World. and now we have our final gummy mission. Wait, what?
I said that was such a fast equipment menu.
It's so difficult, man.
I really enjoy this gummy mission because I think I like the music and just kind of the ambiance.
Yeah.
Atmosphere.
Just when you thought the background couldn't get any darker, it gets darker. Which is pretty cool. Also, this is the most dangerous gummy mission. If you don't know which path to take to dodge the white ships with the lasers, you're very likely to die. So what I'm gonna
Even if you have a gun.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is fly to the left here, and then it'll make the white ships go to the left as well, and then I can avoid them. Going through this rock.
And those like green diamond shaped things that he picks up, they heal his gummy ship. So
Yeah.
it's really helpful that there's a tunnel of those.
Alright, so the first fight in this world is a group of 4 invisibles, and this is a strat I came up with, where you have to lock on switch and use gravity, and hopefully the 4th invisible goes towards the center. And we'll go from there. Very nice. That was a flawless fight.
Oh wow.
Pretty flawless fight.
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what's supposed to happen.
Yeah. Can't complain. Alright, next fight is a group of 3 angel stars, and I'm gonna do a strat that Kaiblade taught me a few days ago. We're gonna do a gravity on the first 2 angel stars, and then we're gonna use 2 gravities on the 3rd one. That should make this fight a bit more bearable. This guy's really high. Okay. Alright, we're good.
Oh, okay.
My party members helped out. So now we're gonna use...
A lot of the time...
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, a lot of the time those angel stars will use a block attack where they just kind of put their wings in front of their face and you can't hit them, and it wastes upwards of like 10 seconds on that fight if it goes wrong. But Violin did really well there, taking them out quick enough.
So I used the cottage there to refill our party's MP and HP. And now we're gonna use a lot of gravity on Behemoth here.
And so the reason we're using gravity on this behemoth is because this one, I guess, is more like it's a different type of enemy as opposed to the boss that we fought before, and so gravity actually does a ton of damage to it. It just like you can bring them down to 2 health bars, and then do an R's, give people this MP gift. Then we do another R's, or just do more combos. And that's it.
Oh, I got an Omega Arts drop.
Oh wow.
Marathon luck. There's like a
when-
1% chance of, or no, is it 5%? I don't know.
It's hilarious because I specifically remember Violin when I did a run for a different marathon a couple years back with you as the commentator. I got the Omega Arts too,
That's
and
funny.
it was the same day. Like it was 2 years ago on the same day.
Yeah, 2 years ago on the
wow.
same exact date. That is so funny. There's an extremely low chance of getting that item drop, and it's actually something we like. So I'm gonna have 2 Omega Arts for final fights. I also equipped Ray of Light over Raven's Claw, so now we have 9 MP, and we can use that 9 MP to utilize Simba here. And I will show you what Simba does here. It's pretty crazy.
Simba is...
Most people think Simba is
So
a useless summon, but in fact he is very, very powerful. If you have the correct setup.
Yeah, the only thing you really need to worry about when using Simba is not getting hit.
Alright, so watch this.
You guys keep talking about Simba, but all I see is Simba.
And you'll notice that Violin did a lower charge at the beginning of that fight. He didn't fully fill up the gauge, and that's to knock those air soldiers back from hitting him before he does the full charge to take them out. If you don't do that, they'll hit you out of the charge and ruins the fight.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, that was Olympus Coliseum, by the way. So any portal that's blue are worlds that we haven't sealed the keyhole for. So now we're in Atlantica. I'm gonna do 5 fires on each of these enemies. Use gravity on this guy, gravity on this guy, more fire, more fire, more fire. A lot of fire. And we're done.
They don't make you play the full worlds, but they do force you into like a demo.
Yeah.
So we got a really good gravity right there that hit all 3 of those targets too, because that doesn't always happen.
Oh yeah, that weakened the 2 green guys.
Yeah. And I'm picking up an elixir chest in this 100 acre wood area. And Kai, do you want to explain this Invisibles fight?
Okay, so this is a very frustrating fight because these invisibles can sometimes just hop behind you and do their DM. But basically, Vineland's gonna try and have them come towards him and just run towards the gravities that he was using on the front one there. Looks like a pretty good setup. He caught the one that jumped behind them. Typically, when they jump behind you, they're trying to do their desperation move, which loses a lot of time. And then here for this next room, 2 invisibles spawn on either side. He's gonna pop a gravity, hit the other one, pop another gravity, and then go and finish off the first one. And he got lucky with some EXP there and got an air combo plus ability early, but he opted not to equip it. Some people like to equip it for this next fight if they get it early.
Yep, so this is Trinabog. You are flying for the entire fight, so all you have to worry about is your positioning and your hits. So he's opting to not do the finisher of his combos, so he's stopping 1 hit short because the finisher doesn't do any extra damage right now, and it is just really slow. It has a lot of lag at the end. It's just doing a lot of empty hits. He wants to catch him to be under 2 bars of HP after he moves his head around like that. If he didn't bring it down to under 2 bars, he would have done a fire pillar. And the fire pillar not only does a lot of damage, but it wastes a lot of time because you cannot really attack him during it. So right there he got pushed back. There was actually a way to avoid that pushback, but it's pretty hard and precise to do. And it doesn't really save that much time. But he's flying down to the bottom of the volcano after defeating him, because when he spawns into this room, if you touch the volcano, then you just start at the very bottom of the volcano for whatever reason.
And I just equipped.
It's kind of like sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I just equipped Super Glide, which is now the fastest form of movement. That's all I wanted to say.
I was gonna say that it's a lot like the Pot Centipede fight. He goes into the next room during the
yeah.
Alright, same thing. We're gonna use a lot of gravity here, and then use R's afterwards.
Yeah, so this is Final Rest. Final Rest is a very long sequence of heartless mobs. We have a really good way of dealing with the last, like, most of the Final Rest fight. We call it Final Rest. It's the fight before Final Rest, but yeah. Right here, there's going to be Dark Balls. He's going to shoot fires at each of them, and it takes 2 fires to kill 1 Dark Ball. So he'd shoot 2 and then target switch, and then keep shooting them until some of them disappear. Only 1 disappeared this time, which is good luck. Sometimes a lot of them will like fly around. So now he's gonna go through the door here and shoot out gravities and hope that the invisibles go into the gravities. It looks like most of them went into there. Oh yeah, that was insane.
That was really good.
That was actually really good. Wow. That's very hard to pull off. Sometimes your party members will rush at the invisibles and just, they won't try to follow you. They'll try to attack them, and it messes the whole thing up. But yeah, it's basically done with this fight now.
And now we're just doing full charges with Simba, and he clears the rest of the waves.
And so far, Violin he didn't get a single invisible DM so far. There's still 1 more chance to get invisible DM. But they have a desperation move where they will like make a disappear and then make a ring around you or your party members, and then you have to avoid that, and then they'll reappear, and it wastes like 15 seconds. It's a really long DM that you want to avoid. So he got really lucky right there with the invisibles.
This is an extremely good end of the world so far.
Don't jinx it.
I'm knocking on wood. Alright, so in this menu, he's just equipping all of his elixirs and mega elixirs that he's collected throughout the run. He's gonna put on the...
Did I put on the right thing? Hold on, no I didn't. Okay. God.
Usually he puts on the Raven's Claw over his Ray of Light, but he got that extra Omega Arts drop, so he can use 2 Omega Arts instead of an Omega Arts and a Raven's Claw.
Wait.
And then he gives Ray of Light to Goofy to give Goofy more MP.
Thank you for reminding me that I had an Omega Art. I forgot.
I Japanese, so I just assumed that's what you were doing.
Yeah, I forgot about it, but there we go.
Oh, you equipped it on Sora. I didn't know it worked like that.
Yeah.
Some runners, if they get that, they like to equip it on Goofy, but it's up to preference. I prefer putting it on Sora. Like
I actually didn't know that it did it worked on Sora. I thought you had like a damage cap or something.
Can I do Ansem 1?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so at the beginning he's gonna do a dodge roll here, and he's just gonna try and get a stagger, because every time Ansem gets staggered 3 times, he calls his Guardian in front of him, and then Violin can R's through it. And what he wants is for Ansem to either stagger while his Guardian is in front of him, or do a backwards swipe, just like he did right there. That usually sets it up so where Ansem will be instantly staggerable right after that. And so we're basically just trying to keep him in this corner with this R's stagger. But if he doesn't do the attack or get staggered while the Guardian's in front of him, then he can do what's called Submit, which is an attack that kind of traps you or one of your party members, whoever it hits, and then the Guardian disappears and Ansem starts doing this orb attack. And it's very annoying, so Ansem's probably going to try and do it now, but I think Violin can probably kill him.
Oh god.
Here.
So right there you see Sora's HP. He's actually at range to die in like 1 hit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's really easy to die in these fights because even when you're not in like critical HP, when it's beeping at you, you can still die in 1 hit. So
yeah, even though it's beginner mode, it's relatively underleveled considering we don't kill a lot of unnecessary enemies, so our defense is pretty low for this point in the game now. It's kind of scaled out that way.
Yep, so on dark side right here, this is the last dark side that we fight. He's going to be doing a lot of air hits, just avoiding the finisher, like before. We used to do R's Arcanum here throughout the whole fight, but then we realized that just doing air hits is actually about the same speed or even faster, and we don't have to waste any MP.
And then you want to do Ansem 2 and I'll do 3?
Alright, sure. So right here, you have to react to whatever Ansem 2 does. Right there, he decided to do a charge attack, so whenever he does that, you can parry it or guard it. He guarded it, and now he's trying to catch Ansem 2. He really doesn't want him to get out of, like, far away. He doesn't want him to fly far away from him. He's going to be trying to get him to about 2 bars of HP. And then he's going to set up for the DM skip. So Ansem 2 has a DM that he can do when he gets to under 2 bars of HP. But in order to skip it, what he's going to do is use R's. And right when Ansem is going to do his DM, R's will stagger him in like a 1 frame window. And the reason we do R's is because it does so many hits in such a short amount of time that it will pretty much always stagger him.
That was a really good fight.
That was scary. Alright, Ansem 3.
Violin's very good at that fight. So Ansem 3, so basically the main goal with Ansem 3 is right at the beginning, Violin's going to soft menu this arrow, and then he's going to do a few hits on Ansem, and then the goal would be to try and get hit as you're casting arrow so that the animation gets cancelled. Arrow just basically makes you take less damage while it's effective. And then he's trying to get as much damage as he can off on Ansem really early, because if he gets him to under 3.5 bars before a certain point, he'll get what's called laser skip, which skips an entire attack that Ansem does where he summons these really annoying lasers that constantly hit you, and it just makes the fight really slow. And as you can see, Violin just got it, so Ansem 3 is going to go right into his DM. He has a pretty long startup for it. For Ansem, he can just wail on him. And yeah, this is really good damage. Basically, you just try to kill him before you die here. Yeah, as you can see, he almost died, but he healed at the very last second.
I was trying to go for a cutscene skip there.
I was ready to explain it,
but I fell.
You fell off.
Yeah. Oh, okay, sure.
So
right here.
Yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
Right here, he's trying to do an R's, and he was waiting for the shadows to kind of group up right there. You want to hit as many as you can with each R's. They take about like 2 hits to die. So you just want to do like an R's or 2 and hope they all die.
This next fight coming up, he's gonna use an elixir to get his MP back. And then this next fight coming up is called Artillery.
This is my least favorite fight in the game.
Yeah, it's very easy to die, and there's a lot of lasers being thrown at you. So he's gonna fly up to these 2 big cannons in the middle and use an R's on them as the large guardian is pushing him. And the first part of R's is invincible, so the push doesn't take effect on Sora if you're using the R's. So he basically just tries to time his R's as to where that doesn't happen, and he did a really good job. That was like a perfect fight.
Yeah, that was good. Alright, now in the Dark Ball room, he's going to be shooting off fires at the Dark Balls. They each die at 2 fires just like before. He wants to hit as many as he can. A lot of them try to teleport and a lot of them don't. After they all group up together next to Sora, he's going to start in R's and hope that he kills most of them. Looks like there's some still around, but...
Sometimes it feels like there's 10 Dark Balls in this room, and then sometimes it feels like there's 50.
I'm getting very, very unlucky here.
Yeah. And you'll see Goofy use Tornado, and then kind of just teleport it to the other side of the room. I don't know why that happens in this room when he uses Tornado.
I didn't see that. But that's
It happens to me all the time. It's so strange. He got a few Mega Ether drops. He's using that to have MP for this next fight. Do you want to take face?
Yeah, sure. So now he's going to be flying up to face and using an arrow on Goofy, and we want Goofy to use a lot of tornadoes here because Goofy does a ton of damage with his tornado on these types of fights. It just melts the HP of the face. So he's trying to cast arrow on himself as well. Yeah, and
the fire was accidental, by the way.
So you just want to keep comboing along with the Goofy. Try to the lasers appear around where Sora was, so you can kind of manipulate where the lasers appear by moving around his face and trying to not get hit by them. And you also don't want Goofy to get hit by them. So it's a lot of positioning that matters in this fight. But
that was a really good fight as well. Wow. So this next area is the final Heartless Core. This is the Invisibles. So basically, Violin's going to go in here and instantly turn around and use gravities because these Invisibles like to group up behind you. And so he's gonna do tall jumps so that they leap under him and then finish them off with an R's. And wow, that was really good. You're making these fights look easy.
And dude, that was a DM-less Invisibles throughout the entire world. That's impressive.
yeah.
And also very lucky.
That's very hard to get. This endgame was really strong. And then this main core is just you do a few gravities and just hit it. Pretty much defenseless. It's just the lasers that you have to worry about.
I'm calling Goofy over here so he doesn't use an MP.
Alright, and Ninten, you can go ahead and take the final fight if you want.
Alright, so right here he's going to be using arrow and then manipulating trying to get the lasers to shoot around Donald and Goofy because he wants both of them to be doing a lot of damage to Ansem 4. None of them took damage, which is really good. So Goofy's just going to keep spamming Tornado. You want him to do as many as he can. Right here, Ansem is going to be summoning something that like pulls Sora, Donald, and Goofy in. So you want to try to move towards him and then get any extra hits off that you can, also without dying. And then you're going to use your last Mega Elixir right here to revive Donald and Goofy, and then move up to Ansem 4 and hopefully finish him off before you can get off another attack. I think you'll be able to get it here. And time's coming up right now.
Alright, that was time.
That was good.
Yeah, I wonder what time I got.
Yeah. I'm curious as well. Because that endgame was very strong.
I think it was a 2:13:11. Okay.
It's 2:13:11 is what it's coming up as. That was an amazing run.
I'm really happy with that. Yeah. Thank you guys very much. So now we're going to move on to the Oathkeeper cutscene glitch incentive, which you guys donated for. So thank you guys so much for meeting that incentive. I'm going to switch to the English version so you guys can understand what they're saying. And the setup for this glitch is surprisingly easy. You can do this on your very own PS4. In the meantime, we have time for a couple more donations.
Okay. Well, we would like to thank everybody for your generous donations during that run. We hope you have enjoyed. I must say it was an absolutely fantastic run, Violin. And also big shout outs to Ninten and Kai for the fantastic commentary as well. You are watching ESA Summer Online. We've got a new run coming up for you just shortly once this incentive is complete, which is going to be Yakuza 0 with Froob MacGuffin. So stay tuned for that. Also, would you like to explain about this incentive here, Violin?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll just let it speak for itself. Basically, you have to dodge roll into this scene, and Sora will kind of just clip through Kairi if you do it right, and he'll start moving around on his own. There we go. Did it first try. Perfect. And I'm not going to touch my controller at all. Sora's going to start doing things on his own. So here we go.
Oh, Grandma's story, right?
That's right. We were together.
You know what's funny? I looked everywhere for you, but you were with me all
That was
along.
sliding dash, a move I don't have.
Finally, we're together, Kairi. Now,
This is an
it's time to
experience.
get real.
Yeah.
You think it'll ever be the same again between
The best
us?
moment
is
is coming up.
He's lost his...
When I turned into a Heartless, you saved me, remember? I was lost in the darkness.
This is the best part. My
Couldn't
favorite.
find my way. As I
He's
stumbled
fighting
through
off the darkness.
I
Yeah.
started forgetting things.
The darkness. Where did it come from?
The darkness almost swallowed me. But then I heard a voice. Your voice. You brought me back.
I didn't want to just forget about you, Sora. I couldn't.
That's it.
He says that's it and uses Blitz.
And the light from
The
our
timing is
hearts
just so good.
through the darkness. I saw that light. I think that's what saved
I
me.
wonder. I still don't know what
No matter how
causes
deep the
this
darkness,
glitch, like
the
exactly,
light shines within.
or why he does these
I
things.
guess
I don't
it's
think
more
there's an
Yeah.
than just a fairy
explanation.
tale.
I don't know. It just sort of happens.
Well, let's go.
You can't go
Oh, now he's back to his detailed model.
because it's way too dangerous.
Come on, Sora. We made it this far by sticking together. You can't go alone.
Kairi, even if
And now
we're
he's in his
together,
attack pose, and his mouth is still moving.
right?
I think every shot where he isn't in his detailed model has some
Kinda
weird
be in
stuff
my way.
going on.
Yeah.
Okay. You win.
Floating
My
charm.
lucky charm. Be sure to bring it back to
Wait, what's he doing
It's a
back
ghost.
Don't worry.
And he's behind her.
there? And he's in front of her, and he's gone.
Promise.
And he's gone.
Don't ever forget.
He says promise after he leaves.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this run. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Ninten and Kaiblade for providing amazing commentary. I wouldn't have been able to do this without them, so huge shout outs to them.
Thank you for having me on. It was great. It was an honor.
Yeah, thank you.
So you can find us at twitch.tv/Kaiblade13 or Ninten or ViolinSR. We all speedrun Kingdom Hearts, and we also have a Kingdom Hearts speedrunning Discord that you can find on speedrun.com. So please consider joining if you're interested in learning any Kingdom Hearts game. And that's all from us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much again, Violin, for that amazing run. Okay, that's also me signing off as well. From the hosting, I will be turning it over to Froob MacGuffin, who will also be running Yakuza 0. So we're going to go for a quick intermission. Stay with us, folks, and we'll be right back. Thank you very much again.